Welcome everyone to this focused explainer. Now, if you're gearing up for the UPSC Management Optional, you already know that precision is, well, it's absolutely everything. The syllabus is just endlessly vast. So today, we aren't just going to sit here and review dry definitions. Instead, we're building a high-scoring study guide. We're going to create the exact blueprint you need to impress the examiner and secure maximum marks on this really crucial topic. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly decode the core concepts, highlight the key differences, trace out the delegation flow, break down this highly effective triangle diagram, and wrap it all up with a winning exam strategy. Let's just dive right in. We're starting right at the foundation, because frankly, confusing these two terms is literally the #1 trap for average answers. In management, words have serious weight, right? And using these concepts loosely is a surefire way to just bleed marks. Think about it. Picture a really tired examiner reading your essay. If you kick things off by blurring the lines between who actually does the work and who answers for the final outcome, man, you've lost them before they even hit the second paragraph. So let's fix that right now. Check out the core concept flow we have here. It's kind of like a restaurant. Notice how responsibility is fundamentally about doing the work, like a chef cooking a meal. But accountability, that's about owning the final result, like the restaurant owner facing the health inspector. The manager delegates authority, which creates the responsibility to perform. The task gets done, sure, but the ultimate answerability loops right back to the top. Let's look at responsibility first. Keep in mind, this flows downward and exists way before the actual task execution even begins. It basically defines what a person is expected to do. It's entirely duty-oriented. When a boss assigns you a task, boom, you now have the responsibility to execute it. To make this super concrete for your exam, picture a sales executive. The sales manager has passed down the authority to, say, offer discounts. And with that comes a clear, delegable duty to hit monthly targets. It's a classic textbook downward flow of execution. Now, on the flip side, we have accountability. And the absolutely crucial point here is that accountability only exists after the performance is measured. Plus, it strictly flows upward. You can pass on the physical work to someone else, but you absolutely cannot pass on the ultimate answerability. It is purely results-oriented. Here's another live example that really drives it home. Say a project manager delegates the actual coding to their developer team. But what happens if that software completely crashes on launch day? The manager alone is answerable to the top executives. You see, the developers had the responsibility to write the code, but the manager held the accountability for it actually working. All right, now that we've got our foundation locked in, let's move on to a direct comparison. Structuring this clearly on paper is exactly what separates a pretty good answer from a great one. You are absolutely going to want to memorize this exact 7-point distinction chart for your exam. Seriously, if you reproduce this table, you're giving the examiner exactly what they crave, a crisp, undeniable breakdown. Notice that crucial timing difference I mentioned earlier. Responsibility exists before the task begins, while accountability is evaluated after it's totally completed. Next up, let's explore how these concepts actually move through a company's hierarchy. It's a really fascinating flow. If you look at the dynamic mapped out here, top management delegates down to a manager who then delegates further down to an employee. Notice how responsibility physically moves down to that employee level because they're the ones doing the task. But if you follow the line of accountability, it shoots straight back up. When answering to top management, the manager cannot just point fingers at the employee. They own it. Guys, this right here is a golden sentence to underline in your exam. Authority can be delegated, responsibility can be shared, but accountability remains indivisible. Commit that to memory. Write it in bold. It shows a truly profound understanding of managerial control and how the chain of command stays unbroken. Okay, let's move to what I like to call the visual secret weapon. This is what will instantly differentiate your answer from the rest of the pack. Conceptually, I want you to think of this as a perfectly balanced triangle. See, if you give an employee responsibility but no authority to make decisions, they just get incredibly frustrated. On the flip side, if you give a manager authority with zero accountability, well, power gets misused. You really need the holy trinity of all three to make it work. And here's how that builds visually. Drawing this exact signature diagram in your paper immediately signals to the grader that you grasp organizational effectiveness. You've got authority at the top apex, flowing down to balance responsibility and accountability at the base. If you can recreate this perfectly, you've practically secured your marks for the question. Let's bring it all home with a winning UPSC strategy. Average candidates write about management in the past tense. Top-tier candidates apply these concepts to the present. If you rapidly pepper your conclusion with these contemporary keywords, it shows the examiner you get how this stuff applies to modern digital structures. Show them that accountability today is tracked through KPIs and KRAs, and that it actually forms the very bedrock of corporate governance. That's how you stand out.
Definitely write this management perspective verbatim at the very end of your answer. Responsibility ensures work gets done. Accountability ensures it gets done effectively. It perfectly synthesizes every single thing we've just covered today.
So, as you prep your notes tonight, I want to leave you with this thought. Consider how the future of work tests the very triangle we just mastered. I mean, when an AI algorithm makes a decision or a decentralized global remote team builds a product, who truly holds the indivisible accountability? Keep pushing your understanding, visualize these frameworks, and go crush that exam.